Hi, how are you doing today? So it is the end of the week, so we are going to input the budget, my expenses for the week. So it's from January 27th to the 31st. I went through my bank statement, wrote down any transactions I used my card with, and then I kept my receipts this week to keep track of my cash purchases. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. And since it is the end of the month, I'm only going to be going to the 31st of January. And next week I'll just do from February 1st to whatever day is like the 10th. I'll do 10 days instead of 7 for February. Instead of doing half January, some of February, I'll just do it all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this date because we don't need to remember where I left off anymore because it's the end of the month. All right, and I had no income for this week. So I'm going to calculate the income that I had for the month. So to do that, you just start dragging from the first number down to the space above where you want your total to be. So that's the last white space on that column. And then you just functions sum and adds it up for you. Not too shabby. And I don't have any fixed expenses coming out. I have therapy and gymnastics coming out on a credit card right now, so I might move those out of this fixed expense because it's not coming out of my bank account. However, I will be paying for it each month on my credit card. It's the only way to pay those two fees is by credit card. So I do have my low limit credit card set up to pay for things like gymnastics, therapy, monthly things, and hopefully that's it because it's um, a low limit. So I'm not going to go crazy with purchases and run it up because there's nowhere to go. All right. So, but for now, these will stay there until I figure out what I'm doing exactly with this budget. So let's go down to variable expenses. So I have a Justin's, which is pet food, and it was $91.51. I have groceries, which was $80. So I'm going to add 359.95. 359.95 plus 80 equals 439.95. All right. And my son Declan, who is a cash goblin, it seems it was $40, so that is 250. That's it for now. I do have receipts, which I'll be adding back into this, but I'm just going off my bank statement currently. So let's go down to the debt repayment. So I paid $50 more off on my MBNA, so that is a total of $1,300. And I put 20 more into savings, which should be a total of $595. So you'll notice, even though it's the end of the month, my Wealth Simple account, which is my TFSA and RRSP savings, does not have anything in it. That's because I'm using the money that I would usually put into those accounts to put on my credit card so I can pay off my credit card in 3 more months from now. So I'm excited about that. All right. It is the end of the month, and I will be calculating all of these fun things in another video. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have I'm going to get it all organized, and right now it's just blank. So, but I will be doing a video on where I find all the information and plugging it in, and the importance of doing the little end of month tallies so that you know where you stand financially a little bit better. Okay, so now let's go for the receipts. One is clothing, and it was $12.40. So it's actually a birthday present. So I guess I'll put it under birthday. And it was $269.46 plus 12.40 equals 281.86. 281.86. And nothing else on that receipt, so that's good. And I have another grocery receipt. I didn't pay much on this because I used my points, I think. Yeah, so I only ended up paying $2, I think. Yeah, I only ended up paying $2 on this, so that was pretty good. So for 41. Oh, yeah, $2. Yep, I just wrote that on the back. $2. And Dollarama was, so I have 105.76 on Dollarama plus 28.32 is my total. 134.08. That's it for Dollarama. Oh, and then I wrote on the back my son's lunch. I gave him $10. This was a different son, not Declan. It's my middle son. So I gave him $10 this week for lunch. So that makes it $53. Put that under school because it's for his lunch at school. I do buy him lunch on Fridays, but these are little extra ones too. But I still count it as school. Now I got a haircut, and it cost $55. So 85 is the total for haircuts of this month. And another grocery bill for 25.02. So groceries were 441.95 and 25.02 plus 25.02 equals 466.97. Also this week, probably tomorrow, I'm going to figure out how much funds I have each week, because the what I want to do with these variable expenses is just take out a like the same amount every week and have enough to pay for this. So I really need to figure out how much I need to take out weekly in order to do so, to live off of cash, because I don't like using my card. I like using money because it just helps me keep better track um, of where my money goes. And when you have cash and you're just handing out cash, like it feels like you don't want to hand that cash over. So it's pretty easy to like tap a card, or you don't really have any emotional connection to it. Just like tap, tap, tap. But when you have money in your hand and you're like handing it over to somebody, I don't know. It just, there is a connection there. You're like, do I really want this? Because like, I don't know, money is nice. Cash is nice. So I'll make a video on it as well, on how I figured out my weekly funds and how it's going. It's kind of like living off of the envelopes, if you've seen that. Or Gail Voss Oxlade is a Canadian financial guru, and she does like the jar system, where you have your expenses, and each jar is filled with a certain amount of money, and that's how much you spend each week or month, however you choose to do it, on that. So that's what I'm going to follow, because I have done that in the past and it works really well. And I really want to get back into it, and I just keep procrastinating. So this week is the week. Probably tomorrow I'll be making a video on that, so you can look forward to that in the near future. Okay, so that is what all my expenses. So now I'm going to add up the expenses and all these columns, because it is the end of the month, so it's time to add it up. So we already did income. Now fixed expenses. Again, you just start clicking from the number you want to the space before you want your total, and sum. And then variable expenses. And sum. And I'm gonna bold it. And so I'll do a couple things right now. I'll do my total expenses. So that's 155.9.30 plus 261.94 equals, I'm sure there's a formula in here that will total those two together, but it's above my knowledge of Google Sheets. So I just did it the old-fashioned way with a calculator. So it is 1821.24. My total expenses. I'm gonna bold that. Now let's do income minus expenses. So income up here was 3928. .76 minus income minus my expenses, which my total expenses was 1821.24 equals 2107.52. So that is my cash flow. Doesn't mean that I had that much cash, but it's a good sign. And I'm going to go through a little bit later and input all of these. Basically all of these come from my bank statement. So I'm going to go through my bank statement and figure out how much I put into all of these accounts and what I have for the end of January. And these are my goals for the year. And we'll see how I'm doing. Okay. So yeah, I'll do another video on that. So I'll have at least two more videos coming out just on my budget and what I'm doing at the end of the month and why it's important, because I think budgeting is very important. So there you have it. That's the end of January 2024. Can you believe it's already a month into this year? Crazy. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow.